I figured I'd make a video on how to overvolt or add an extra 12 volts to your e-bike without modifying your controller. If you have no background in electronics and you're scared to open it, but you know a little bit about wiring, then you probably can do it. I'll give you an idea how this thing works. You got your thick negative, obviously, and then you got your thick positive. This one here goes right to the rails of the FETs, which then in turn controls your motor. This one here normally is red too. This is the thin red wire. These two are on an e-bike are normally tied together. This one's constantly on, and this one usually goes to the ignition. But what this one does, this one goes to the PIC, or the computer inside the controller, and the voltage regulator. And the way this little wire is set up, if the voltage on your regulator is too high or too low, the voltage regulator or the board will go into shutdown mode, or low voltage shut off. The way to fool it, basically, is to okay, so if you got a pack that this is 48, from here to here it's 48, okay, or from here to here I'd say it's 48, and then I got the extra, if you had a 12 volt, I have it 8 volts. What you want to do is your negative would go on your negative, and then your thin wire, which is the computer wire, would go to, it would be tapped to your 48 volts right before it goes to the extra pack you've added. Okay, and then the thick red wire would go to the pack that you've added. Okay, so basically what's happening is you've got 60 volts going into the thick red wire, and the thin red wire has 48, or it sees 48. You're basically fooling the controller into thinking that it's still the proper voltage, but really you got a full 60 on the thick red one, and the controller won't know the difference. It'll just run hotter. So I can basically show you what shutdown mode is. I just set this up to show you on the bike, and then I'll show you how to get around it. Okay, it's set up with every cell running in series all the way up to the bike. When you turn it on, we get the lights, which is through the regulator, but we have no throttle. That's because the controller right now is in protection mode. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to shut it down, and what we're going to do is take that little red wire out of the box, and then we're going to run an extra red wire. Well, for me, I'm going to have to run an extra red wire to here, and it'll be a 3-plug setup, and then an extra wire going down to the battery, and then I'll show you how to tap it for 48 volts, and then it should work. This is the simple crossover I made from the 48 volt pack to the booster pack. It's sticking up to handle the amps going this way, but it doesn't need you don't need high amps going through the small wires, so it's just for detection. As you can see here, by default, there's my main thick wire, and there's my thin one. You can see they're both together. We're going to pull them apart and pull this one out, leave this one in. Okay, there's our computer wire, the thin one, the red wire. It's coming down, and then center tapped. It's going from the negative over here to 40 through the 48 volts, and right before it goes into the extra cells, it's going into here. So it's basically center tapped pretty much. From the negative here to here is 48 volts. Anything past this wire, the extra cells you add will be 60, 70, whatever you want to add to it. So as it stands right now, I'm getting the full 60 or 70 volts through the whole bike, except for that little red wire, which is fooling the controller into thinking it's 48 or 50. So here we go. Power it up. And there you go. Try something a little bit faster. I'm going to get this to stay without falling over. here. Yeah. So I hope that helps somebody. That's without modding the controller. It will run a little bit hotter. So thin red wire goes to your 48 volt lead, and then anything past that goes to your main thick lead. So I hope that helps somebody.